Jana Martinez, using the power of her angelic voice and magical handpan sounds. Jana Martinez dispenses sound baths that deliver elixirs of bliss that bring audience members into a state of harmony and elevate their vibration to attract their most heartfelt desires with ease. With her own mix of sound alchemy, accelerated learning techniques, and keen intuition, Jana delivers in spades. Her mantra is no pain, no gain. All gain. No pain, all gain. No pain, all gain. This is like so subconscious. No pain, no gain. No pain, all gain, which she infuses into her transformational workshops. Jana engages and empowers audiences with high content and high value and creates a space of bliss and peace for success and healing to happen joyfully with ease and grace. She is also definitely a lot of fun. Jana, you ready to rock this?
I am so ready. I am so excited to be here.
So ready. Yes.
Yeah.
Woohoo! You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun today.
Thank you.
I love what you do. Your gift, your magic gifts, your magic, as well as your combination of the brain and neurology and speed reading, which we're going to dive into. But I really just acknowledge you for how you've synthesized your gifts in the world. It's just magical and special, and I truly appreciate you coming on here and sharing with us today.
Thank you. It's my joy and pleasure to be here. And I have to tell you that I know how hard it is to lead a workshop for 2 or 3 days and just have to be on all time. And for you to be doing this for a 12-hour marathon, I really commend you, because it really takes a lot of mental stamina and physical stamina. Also emotional stamina, because you're working with a lot of leaders and a lot of people who use their brains a lot. Yes. They're forward thinkers, and you have to really not only have the stamina to be there, but I'm sure that a lot of these processes also work on you. So to go through the emotional part of it, it takes a lot. So I'm so proud of you for doing this. And I'm so grateful that you're so committed, because that level of commitment is what this world needs right now. It's about cooperation, and it's about commitment. It's about getting clear, but also the level of community that you bring is exactly what I keep telling my people. It's this year especially is about community and cooperation, and it's no more of me. It's the year of we.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Jana. So let's start diving in, and we start off with the question of the day, and that is, Jana, how are you awakening your GPS? How do you do that, your greatest possible self? How are you awakening now, and how have you done it? What's your go-to to awaken, and how do you keep doing it moving forward?
Well, I've been through so many self-development courses, and I've delved into all types of energy healing. I did Reiki many years ago. That's what I kind of started with. And so I kind of have a huge toolbox that is available to me. But as the time goes, it takes a lot of commitment to really stay on the path.
Yeah.
And for me, it has my whole purpose is to find the tools that will work the fastest with the least amount of pain, because I did that's why it's like, so no pain, no gain, right? Everybody knows that saying, because we were ingrained and imprinted with that. It's like you must suffer in order to get some sort of gain or achievement, or get ahead in your job and everything. And for me, it's like I did the pain for many years, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm done with the pain. It's like, how can I find the tools that are going to give me the greatest amount of pleasure I want the orgasmic tools.
Yes.
Yes. The divine, cosmic, orgasmic
Yes.
tools that will allow me to stay centered, to raise my vibration. And I have found that, and believe me, I've done the access consciousness, I've done a bunch of stuff, and I love basically tapping and the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sure you're familiar with that. That saved my life. I was at a point where I was suicidal and researching ways of how I was going to take my life without affecting everybody else in my family, right? Or anybody. Like, I couldn't jump in front of the train because I was so worried that I was going to traumatize the train driver, the train conductor. It's like, I can't do that. I'm going to ruin their lives. So it's like, but anyway, I have found through all my search that the thing that gave me the most fear is what is now my go-to, which is sound. I've always known I was born, I always say I was born like Lady Gaga. I was born this way, right? I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to be an actor since I was a little girl, and a singer and a dancer, just basically an entertainer. And when I went through a lot with my voice, I went through voice lessons, and the teacher just like helped me ruin my placement. So I sounded horrible, and I went through a lot of trauma and drama with my voice. And every time I was going to perform or in school, anywhere, I would actually lose my voice. I would get so sick. And a lot of my performances I missed at the beginning because I would get sick. Until I realized that it was a pattern. And at that point, I wasn't so advanced in my self-knowing.
Awareness, yeah.
And my awareness of it. But I realized that I had a pattern going. And then I was able to break through that. But I would have such stage fright that I would just throw up before I would go on stage. And my knees would shake and my voice would shake. It was just dreadful. And at one point, my then husband asked me one day, he's like, why do you put yourself through this? And I said, because this is something I was born to do. And it doesn't matter how afraid I am. I know I must go through it. And eventually I'm going to get to the other side. And magically, and through a bunch of stuff I did, and the sound is what really gets me going. The music, the vibration, and the knowing that the higher I vibrate, the more and the stronger I get at keeping my vibration, the more I can help others and I can be of service.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So in terms of the elevating your vibration, a lot of people have different activities that they do. Might be meditation, might be journaling, might be, listening to binaural beats or listening to certain sounds or whatever it might be. I'm curious, what have you found works like most effectively and least effectively, in visualization? There's all these kinds of different techniques. Is everyone different? Is there one that naturally people gravitate to more or raises people's vibration more? I'm curious what you found with that.
Well, everybody's different. However, there are these basic tools that help everybody and everybody's vibration. One of the things that I found is so easy, and I combine accelerated learning with sound healing. And one of the things I found, first of all, is just waking up my brain in the morning. And the way to do that, and this is one of the tools that if you can use in your life, it's going to help you tremendously. And it's yawning, believe it or not. Stretching and yawning and fake yawning, because what it does, it brings a surge of oxygen into your body, and it actually sends oxygen and glucose to your brain, which are the two elements that the brain needs to function at its peak. So in the morning, when you're still lying in bed, stretch and yawn 8 times. And it will give your your brain the fuel it needs to start thinking and waking up. And the next thing that I do is tapping. Like I tap on my body and just tap, tap, tap. And just like tap on your lap.
Yeah.
Like, and start tapping, and then faster and faster and faster and faster. And that alone will raise your vibration in your body and start getting you psyched, right? For a day. And it seems so silly, right? But try it. I always tell everybody, don't believe a word I say. Don't believe me. Test it out. Try it out. If it works for you, keep it. If not, just dump it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Humming is the next thing. So the power of your own voice. You know, that's why a lot of us coaches, and we know that yelling out our affirmations, right? Or writing down our vision and yelling it out in the morning of everything that you already have, as if you've already achieved it, right? Yell it out in your own voice. Will actually create an imprint, because there is nothing more powerful than your own voice.
Wow.
The president can tell you something, well, not this president, but a president can tell you to do something, and it won't be as powerful as you telling yourself something.
Wow.
The other thing is, these are the things you can do. Now, but I also recommend something that people should stop immediately. And that is create an awareness of how you talk to yourself. Because for most of us, if a friend or someone came to us and spoke to us the way we speak to ourselves, sometimes we would beat them up and never speak to them again. But our bodies cannot divorce us. So they're stuck.
Wow.
And to bring some clarity and practicality to this notion, just know that your mind monitors your body, and your body monitors your mind. Now, our bodies are the way that we are able to experience this dimension, right? There are vehicles. Like, if I ask you, do we fit in our bodies, or do our bodies fit in us?
It's a great question. Well, I think do we fit in our bodies? I believe that we fit in this dimension, and our body is like a fraction of our presence in this dimension and all the dimensions.
Exactly. So our bodies fit in us,
yes,
right? So
yes.
This is our vehicle. So we're unlimited, right? And then in order to experience chocolate and love and all the things that we came to this dimension or this plane to experience, our bodies are here and they want to please us. So just note how we confuse our bodies. So imagine that you're running to a meeting in the morning, and all of a sudden you're running out the door and you cannot find your car keys. Just feel how that feels, how stressful that is all of a sudden, right? You're like, ugh. And then you're running late, or you're like, you have the time just like perfect to get there, and all of a sudden you can't find your keys. And then you start getting anxious and worked up and so stressed. And keep noticing your mind monitors the body monitors the mind. So all of a sudden you find the keys, feel that sense of release. And it's like, oh, okay, now you're good, right? All the adrenaline that was running in your body. And we can talk about how we're addicted to that trauma and drama of life, and how it's simply a chemical addiction. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. all of a sudden you're feeling amazing because you found your keys. Okay, it's all good. You calm down. You have this rush of adrenaline. Now you're almost weakened by it, but you're ready to go and you keep moving on, right? So here's the signal that you gave to your body. You lost something, it feels bad. You found it, it feels good.
Yeah.
Right? Now our bodies are trying to please us constantly. They're working by themselves, keeping the heart beating, the blood, all the functions that the body has and takes care of without you having to think about them. And we never say thank you. Okay. And on top of that, it's still trying to make us happy and make us feel good. So all of a sudden we decide we're going to go on a diet and want to lose weight. Okay, so we go on this diet, we beat ourselves up, we over exercise, starve ourselves, and do whatever we do to lose the weight. We get off the path for 1 second, and what does your body do?
Wants to find it
It
again.
goes find it. And guess what? It'll give you more. Why? Because it can. And it's waiting for you to say, oh my God, thank you for finding all the weight that I lost and giving me more. And no, we're not happy. We are really angry at our body. We start berating it. And so the body's like, wait a second. We lost the keys. You were in a foul mood. We found the keys. You were so happy. We lose the weight. I thought if I found the weight, I was going to make you happy again.
Right.
So it's just a question. It's a problem of semantic, right? We just, instead of focusing on losing the weight, if we just focus on being fit and healthy and eating the right things for our bodies, and we start asking our body if what we're going to put in our mouth is something that's good for it, our bodies will start, your body will tell you. You will feel it immediately. You ask your body, put a garbage food, chips, potato chips, close to your solar plexus, okay? And a thing that you can do is before you put the chips to your body, you can just stand up and then, or just sit up straight and then just say yes and see if your body's going to lean forward or lean back.
Yes.
What are you getting?
Leaning forward.
It doesn't matter. There's no right.
Leaning forward.
Forward? Okay, good. Some people lean back, but I usually get a yes as forward. Now do a no?
No.
Yeah, immediately back, right? Yeah. Okay, now we got our yes, we got our no. You put a bag of potato chips on your solar plexus, and you will notice if your body's going to lean forward, saying yes, feed me, or no. And then put an apple. Maybe not an apple. A lot of people are allergic to apples, but put a fruit, an orange, something that's not allergenic.
Oh man, I would die if I was allergic to apples. I love apples. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
I know. I love them. They used to call me Apple Lady at school when I was in dance school because I would eat one apple every day. But so anyway, your body will tell you if it's good or not, right? That's another tool.
Yeah.
And the next thing I'm going to recommend is releasing, letting it all go. Because what I have found to be true for me, and I remember I told you, don't believe a word I say, just try it out, is when I have tried to manipulate, create, actionate, I don't know, just make things work the way that I believe they should.
Control, yeah.
I always crash the car. It's that control freak in me. And it used to work for a while, right? But it creates a lot of pretzeling. It creates a lot of trying to comport yourself into a shape or do something or trying to create a situation where you're like twisting it and turning it and making it fit. And the more you, and I don't want to call it acceptance because it's not an acceptance of how things are. You don't have to be happy about it. Things are the way they are and that's it.
Right.
It's how you react to them. If you allow yourself to feel everything and not judge it as good or bad or right or wrong, because we have a tendency to try to put everything into slots. And when we don't do that, and a mantra that works for me and that I absolutely love, because I've found that it's so easy to believe it, is everything is always working out for me.
Yes.
You know, I always say God has your back. And I talk about it as God. You can, if you're not a believer in God and the universe, whatever, that thing, that ether that has our blood flowing and our heart beating, that essence, it has your back every single time. And I, out of my biggest, what I thought was my biggest tragedy in my life, actually was my biggest gift. But of course, when you're going through it, you don't know that, right? I think it's like you're at the end and you don't see it, sometimes a way out, and you don't know how to get through things. And that's why a lot of people have been taking their lives, and we just know about it more. I don't know if it's always been this way, but because of social media and everything, we just find out more about it, or if it's really increased. I believe somehow it's a little bit of both.
Right.
But when we get to that point and we just learn to release the outcome and allow it to flow, but when we direct our energy, and you don't have to be at that low point in your life, when you start getting good at manifesting or actualizing things, if you focus on what you like, but then release the outcome and not worry about if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Our job is just to know what we desire. Then the universe orchestrates whatever it is for it to happen. And the thing is, we have to be patient.
Yes.
Because we want it and we want it now. We're in this how do you call it? This society where it's like instant gratification.
Yes.
Right? We need to have a result immediately. And you can't take the cake out of the oven too soon, because you're going to get raw batter. So we have to let the cake bake. And as you do that, and if you dance through life as you're waiting, then it's just going to be so much better. Because the other thing I found is that every time we get one of our desires, the joy usually lasts about 10 seconds before we go on to the next desire.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Ah, life.
You're like, okay, I did it. Yay. Okay, next.
So
and
what's
you've
the
been
gift?
Waiting so long.
Yeah, what's the gift in that tendency, in that pattern? You know, we can learn to love the present. We can learn to just, like, how do we fall deeper in love with this process, or generate deeper levels of love and you know, just ecstasy of the present moment? How do we create that? How do we generate that? Like, that's the focus, versus how do I get somewhere, or in the pursuit of the desire, man, I know where I want to go, and ooh, this moment is just juicy. Right.
And it just becomes, see, when you manage to do that, you understand and you learn that the point of power is in the right now, and the now, and the now, and the now, and the now.
Yes.
Right? And then you start enjoying every little bit of it. As opposed to when I was little, sometimes I would be somewhere and I wanted to be somewhere else, until I realized, God, you know what? That doesn't work for me.
Man.
You know, and I lived in Florida. I lived in Miami for 20 years, and then I moved to New York City. And people would constantly ask me, what was I thinking? Because people move from New York to Miami, not from Miami to New York. Right. And they would ask me, what do you like best? And my answer has always been, when I lived in Miami, I loved Miami best. Now that I live in New York, I love New York best.
Wow. That's like the philosophy that we teach. Like, today's the best day ever, right? Like, the past, when I had my, sweet 16, my 21st birthday, got married, got divorced, got the mansion, got the raise, got whatever, or in the future, when I get married, get the mansion, get the raise, get divorced, whatever. That's, a lot of people are holding on to some other moment other than now to be that best moment ever, or the best, like the happiest that they've ever been in their life. And you get to choose what is the best. Why not give this moment the best chance it has and say it's the best? Like, I'm here and now, and this moment is everything. It is everything. And how can I step? What?
And it's the only moment.
Exactly.
There's nothing else. It's the moment.
I love that. So, Hannah, something I recognize is we still haven't dove into what you do in the world today. We just kind of dove into these techniques and ideas. That's perfect.
Yes, this is all part of it. And see, the sound healing allows you to be in this moment without you having to do anything. That's why I love it so much.
Wow.
Because it just allows you to be in an cosmically orgasmic state it's an effortless thing. You just allow yourself to receive it. You don't judge it. You don't expect anything from it. You don't think you're going to feel any certain way. You just are willing and open to receive it, and it will change your life, because it has changed the lives of so many people that I've worked with, and it has definitely changed mine.
Wow. So tell us about the journey. What was the journey of sound healing, how it got introduced to you? Because you told me a story the other day, and it's fascinating, super, super cool stuff.
Well, I started doing sound healing about 20 years ago. Yeah, about 20 years ago. And I thought I was going crazy. I got it in a meditation to start working. I was singing. I was going to school and I was singing. And I got it in my meditation to work with solfeggio frequencies. At the time, I only heard solfeggio. I had no idea what solfeggio was, except for solfege, which were the scales. And then I started doing research, and I found that the solfeggio tones, the sacred solfeggio, were the notes and the scales that the Gregorian chants, that the monks use for their Gregorian chants. And these were healing frequencies and healing notes. And then the music got standardized, and it got to 440, the frequency for tuning, so that everybody could get standardized tuning. And we lost those frequencies. And for many years, I wanted to do, and it's still here waiting for it to be born, but I wanted to do the gratitude concerts. And it would involve a lot of musicians, and somehow they never kind of gelled. And one time I was in Mexico with I had just met a shaman, and I was in a spring equinox ceremony. And as I was leaving, this woman whom I'd never seen before, I went to her ceremony. And as I was leaving, she's like, wait, I need to talk to you, because I'm getting, she says the angels gossip to her. She's like, I'm getting some gossip. And she said that I needed to sing. And I said, she didn't know me from anything, and she didn't know I sang or anything. So immediately I paid attention, and she said that I needed to sing. And I said, yes, but I don't have the right musicians, and I don't write the music, and I don't know what to do. And she said, just use your voice. Use your voice. And so I went home, and I didn't know how to just do it. I was still working with issues of stage fright at that point. And for me to just not go sing a piece that was written that I considered a beautiful sounding thing. Like I was always afraid of sounding terrible and breaking people's ears. So I would play the straight tones, and one day, for healing for myself, and one day I just started singing on top of this tone and just toning a melody. And I knew that day that I was on to something. At that point in my life, I was going through two parallel paths. I had taken my daughter to a speed reading class with the original partner, to Evelyn Wood. And I had fallen in love with the speed reading. I had taken I took my friend with her kids. I took my daughter. We went in a group, and I thought, we're all going to learn to speed read. And oh my God, this is great. And we laughed, and nobody else did anything. They thought, oh yeah, it's good, whatever. And they just like never did anything. And I was obsessed. I left that class and I couldn't wait to practice the speed reading. And on the fourth day of practicing 15 minutes a day, like they told me to do, I think I did a little bit more because I'm a little bit obsessive when I get into something. But on the fourth day, I woke up at 4 a.m. with a flash. I had a vision, and I jumped out of bed and I grabbed a piece of paper. I grabbed a pen. I started writing, and it took me 20 minutes to write my first ever 3-day workshop. And I was teaching at the point, I was coaching actors. And I had 3 days of a voiceover coaching course, and I knew like from 9 to 9:30 this is going to happen, from 9:30, and I had seen it all in one flash. And after I wrote it down, I knew it was from the speed reading. I just knew it. I'm like, this is because of this. So I called them up and I said, I'm going to teach this. I made a decision that I was going to teach this class. I called them up that 2 hours later, as soon as they were open. I called them up. I said, listen, I'm going to teach this class. And they said, wonderful, because we're looking for teachers coming over. So that's how I got into the speed reading. So I was kind of split in myself. Like I was like, I didn't know that I could do both. And I've never been an either or kind of person. I'm always the either and, like this and that, not this or that. And so I was trying to put it together, but it just wasn't happening. And I was going crazy. So one day I just said, listen, God, if you want me to do this sound healing thing that is so woo-woo and out there, because I'm thinking that I'm aligning people's chakras, and they're going to send them in with the white coats any second now and put me away. So you better send me some proof that this works. And wouldn't you know it, this was on a Wednesday. I was like, setting my foot down, because I have also found that when you really set your foot down and you command and demand from the universe will instantly send you an answer. So I think it couldn't have come any quicker, because the next day I taught my speed reading class. This guy comes in, and at the end of the class tells me, I didn't get this. And for me, it's like, you could not get speed reading. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't get it? Like, no, I'm really not getting it. Can you help me? And I'm like, fine, I'll help you. And we found out that he worked close to where I lived. So within 2 days, he was at my house. I was coaching him. All of a sudden, he tells me, I don't know how we got, he saw my drum where I do my cymatics and stuff. And he's like, what is that? Told him about it, and we got into talking about sound healing. And he said, well, I have an antenna that's quantum physics based. And I'm like, quantum physics, this is what I do. That's the sound healing. It's all based in quantum physics. Yes. And he says, I have an antenna and I can measure it, and we can know if it actually works or not. I was like, I was speechless. Within 2 days later, he's at my house with all this equipment, this antenna and these oils and all these things and boxes and things, and like setting it all up. And we found that within 20 minutes, I had aligned his chakras completely.
Wow.
And he said, listen, I don't need to measure this. I can feel it. It's unbelievable. And that day I just said, okay, God, I'm just going to go forth and keep doing both. And eventually, well, first of all, Hal passed away, and then I stopped doing speed reading for a while. And then I still wanted to teach it because it's such a gift. It gives you so much more than reading fast.
Yeah.
I always say it's the hidden things from speed reading, things you don't know, and the things that people don't talk about. Because it's so hard sometimes to pinpoint, and it affects everybody differently. But it actually allows your both hemispheres to get synced and to get a strong corpus callosum. It strengthens your neurons and your synapses, so you can use more of your brain, and also use your right brain and your left brain together. And you can get a lot of out of the box approaches, and you start living your life in a totally different way. So I realized that doing the speed reading, the way I was teaching it, activated, and with some exercises that I discovered worked along with it, we could activate the pineal gland, which is the one that connects us to the universe.
Yes.
So it's like, this is part of what I do with the sound. So I realized that I could actually get to the left brain people through the speed reading, through a more practical way, and the more right brain people through the sound healing, or both, because the right brain people are kind of more open, no?
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I'm going to do both, and then I'm going to hit every corner. I'm going to hit them from every angle. They're going to have no escape. They're going to have to awaken.
I love that. I love that. That awakening, awakening the greatest possible self. So like we're diving into sound. We're diving into like quantum physics. We're diving into all kinds of amazing stuff. I'm curious, like what do you see your calling is like moving forward? Like what keeps you pulling forward? What's the vision that you're creating in the world, the impact that you're wanting to make? Because we got speed reading, we got sound healing. There's so many different modalities of transformation. So how does this all tie together for you, Jana?
Well, I finally found that I could do it all and just be myself. And the thing that I've always known since I was very young, and whether it's through acting and singing or doing sound healing or speed reading, it doesn't matter what it is. My purpose in life is to let people know and show them that God exists. And part of it is, so for me, it's I help entrepreneurs, and I decided to focus on that group of people because I relate more to them. And people can have jobs and still be entrepreneurs. Okay, so they don't have to have their own business or whatever, but it's a certain type of person that's
mindset.
It's a mindset, right? And because we are so driven. Sometimes we get out of balance. So my purpose is to help these type A entrepreneurs, mostly women and a few good men, find their balance and find how to and learn how to place themselves in the divine flow of abundance, so that life starts happening and coming to you instead of us chasing after it. And it is basically how to get off the hamster wheel, because we're on this hamster wheel thinking we're going somewhere very, very fast. And we get faster and faster and faster. And all of a sudden we collapse, right? We fall off the wheel. And that can be because you get divorced, you get an illness, you have a loss, a big trauma and drama in your life. Something really big happens and bam, bam, bounces you off the wheel, right? And you fall off the wheel and you realize you haven't gone anywhere. Right? And so my job and my mission is to show people how to get off the wheel, stay off the wheel, be on purpose, be of service, and have the most amazing life beyond their wildest dreams, because that's what's happening to me. And I am just itching to share it with everybody, because I want everybody in my life sharing this amazing life that I'm living, that is just like phenomenal. And a lot of people, and I want to get people off the money train.
Yes.
off the money train, because it's either money's bad and they're repelling it, or money is the only thing and we're chasing it and then it escapes us. And money is an energy, and it's just like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? Nobody wants a needy person in their lives, and neither does money. Right? When we're like, we want it, we need it, we did it, the money just avoids us. It's like, it's like, eek.
I love this. I was reading chapter 10 in Think and Grow Rich today, which was about the Mastermind Principle, and it was talking about money, how money must be wooed. Money is shy. Money is, like it's not like poverty, which is rude and blatant and abrupt. Like poverty is vicious, and money is like this kind of nurturing, abundant. You have to you grow it and you nurture it, and it expands. So I love that.
Yeah. But it's also about it's about the same principle about that release that I was talking about at the beginning. Right? Because I always kind of end up full circle and I come back to the beginning.
Love it.
And it's I go in spirals. Just like the solfeggio frequencies, they're all going in a spiral, and that's how I actually align people's chakras in a spiral way. But in the same way, we put so much weight onto the money thing and forget about all the other areas. And sometimes we forget how much abundance there is, and it hasn't got anything to do with money. And a lot of the abundance can come into your life without you actually having to pay for it, even though it actually costs money. And in a way to explain it, for example, something that just happened to me, it's like I travel a lot. And last week I came back from Mexico. I was in Cancun and I came back to Philly, and I had booked my flight really late because I got into this thing where I only book one-way flights, and I never know when I'm gonna go back home. I'm not making any plans anymore. I just kind of follow my guidance, and it's been just a magical ride. So anyway, I booked this flight, and there weren't any seats, so I was like stuck in the aisle seat, and I like the window, but I only like the window on the one side because I like to lean my head on the one side and not on the other. And so I get to the airport and my flight is delayed. And the lady says, well, you have a very short connection, so what I'm going to do is we're going to help you through. And all of a sudden I said, well, can I go? She's like, no, I'm actually moving you up forward so you can leave faster. So I got the window seat on the seat that I wanted. My suitcases got upgraded to VIP, whatever, the mint for JetBlue, whatever. So all of a sudden my suitcases were coming out first. Then I went in, and the flight attendants were amazingly nice. We started having this amazing conversation. When we went out, they helped me through. I was carrying so many bags. I was carrying Harry, and I had 2 suitcases and the hand case and the drum. So they helped me with all my cases because we had to go through immigration and customs. They helped me put my stuff away. Then on the second leg, I get in and it's the same crew, and they're like, where are you sitting? And I'm like, oh, I'm all the way in the back. She's like, no, you're too far. Wait, stay here. Can you believe it? I was on the first seat on the right, the same seat I had the whole way. My whole trip got upgraded the entire way. Wow. Now, my flights were delayed. Both flights were delayed, but one of them jumped onto the other delay. So basically, I was only 2 hours late to get home.
Nice.
And I had the most magical trip the entire time, and it didn't involve any money. I mean, I didn't have to spend any money at all, and I had life just gifting me. Like the minute I got off the flight in Philly, the first 2 suitcases that came were mine, to the point that a lady next to me looked at me, is like, wow, like how on earth did you do that? And I said, oh, that's just my life. You know, it's like my life is like that. It's magic. I live in magic land. And I attribute it all to the sound.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So how do you, you have a daily ritual or a set of daily rituals for you? You're talking about doing the tapping and the slapping and that kind of thing.
Yawning.
And yawning. Yeah. Is there anything with sound that you do that really works for you?
Definitely. I play with Harry. I play all the time.
Show us Harry. Do you have Harry with you?
Harry. This is the most magical drum ever. And this.
Wow.
So yes, this is Harry, and it's I think we would run out of time. We're going to leave it for another day of how Harry came to me, but he is a magical drum that actually vibrates to the frequency of love, right here, 528 hertz. So, and he came, that's the frequency that I love to sing the most, because I believe that it's all about the love, and it's not the regular love that we know in this dimension, but it's about unconditional love. It's about sort of like the love that if you own a dog, you know what unconditional love is when you have a dog.
Yes.
It's that kind of pure, non-judgmental, all-accepting kind of love. And when we get to that point, then life has no choice but to become magical.
That's beautiful. So this unconditional love is a soul like guiding thing for you. It sounds like the frequency of this unconditional love, providing it for other people, like what that space is, empowering entrepreneurs to experience that and ascend, awaken to these higher levels of consciousness where they can feel and experience and be that unconditional love. Like that, it all comes, like you said, spiral, full circle, however you want to say it.
Yes, exactly. And it allows to actually raise the level of consciousness in the planet.
Yes.
At the beginning, I was, I read a lot of books about frequency and entrainment, and I used to believe that, because I was told this by scientists, that the higher frequency would drag the lower frequency up. So we were talking about frequencies, and we're talking love and gratitude at the one end of the spectrum, and fear and anger and jealousy, those kind of feelings at the bottom end. So I was told, the higher frequency is going to drag the lower frequency up to meet it. And I found that was not the case, especially because the fields are so strong. I feel that the strongest field is going to drag the frequency either up or down. And I love to set examples so that people can actually understand what I'm talking about. And if you have a large gathering of people in a concert or a stadium, and somebody yells fire, the fear spreads just like the fire, right? Very, very quickly. People are in a panic and fear. That's why people get trampled, because they become, what happens is that the primal brain gets activated, right? And the fight or flight response or freeze gets activated. And what happens physically is that people cannot actually reach their thinking brain, the rationing brain, and where you have all the information and where you can actually make clear decisions. The clarity just goes away. There's no access to the prefrontal cortex. And the fear gets spread very, very quickly, and people start activating their primal brains, and that's it, where everybody loses there. So imagine that somebody's yelled fire and everybody's running out, and there's somebody who actually has a very good control of themselves and their brain and manages to stay calm and vibrating in love. And they're in the middle of this. Do you think that one person is going to stop everybody from trampling? There's no way.
No.
I mean, you'd have to be somebody like the Dalai Lama. I believe he could do that. Or some people like that in this. But just like regular old me, standing there, I don't think I could do it. And I don't want to find out if I can.
Right.
Not yet. Right. And however, the more of us that get vibrating in that frequency, and the more we learn to stay in that frequency, because sometimes it's easy to get there, but it's also easy to get off it. So you really need to be committed to vibrating at that level. Just like you're committed to doing your 12-hour marathon, right? It's the same type of commitment that is required. But the more of us that keep doing it, the stronger we get. And then it becomes harder. The field gets stronger and stronger, and then it gets harder for all of us to get bumped off, right? And so that is my mission, to teach people and to help them strengthen. And that's why I have my 6-month program coming up, which is, I'm so excited about that.
Yes. Tell us more. Tell us more about it.
So I have this 6-month program that's starting in March with a retreat. And I get excited. We did this retreat last year, and it's so magical and transformational. And what it is I invite a small group of people, because it's a very, very small place in the jungle that I have in Mexico. And we go to the jungle for 3.5 days, where we just completely, you come out one person and you leave somebody else. A really good somebody else, like so much better. You up your game, you up your frequency. And one of the things that I always used to notice when I would go to a retreat or some sort of transformational event, the weekend thing, and you'd come out on Monday and you get that hangover, right? Of, oh my God. And then on Tuesday, you're like, what do I do now? It's like, I did all these great things, but I don't know how to apply them. And you're kind of lost most of the times. It's hard to keep it up. By Wednesday, it's like, that's it. All you want to do is run back to the retreat and keep doing it your entire life. And sometimes that used to bother me. So I figured, okay, a lot of people do their programs and then they culminate with a retreat, and I like to do things the way I like to do them. So I'm doing it upside down. So we're starting with a retreat where people get an immersion into the sound, what it is, because not a lot of people know about how it is and how it works. And this program, like I said, incorporates a lot of the accelerated learning techniques and things that are just easy peasy, that seem so silly. And I get a bunch of exercises that you can you have a toolbox where you're gonna go into your life on Tuesday, and a situation is going to come up, and you're gonna know how to calm yourself and how to turn it around so that it becomes a magical outcome every time. Right. And so then we have the 6-month program where I'm going to be doing 40-day cycles into every area of your life. So whether it's relationship, job, whether you feel stuck in one area, whether you have health issues, whatever it is that's really keeping you stuck. And as we work through all of them, you'll find that you start getting into the synergy where everything starts to work around it. So it's a very magical thing, and I'm so excited about it.
Yes, and I love how unusual and unconventional it is, but how much the science supports all of it. It's like the quantum physics is just so awesome. And coming from an electrical engineering background, I just so appreciate everything that you're creating. And you're telling me, about the sinkhole or the thing that you get to dive into, and like all kinds of, it just sounds magical. And what an experience, what a treat for everyone who is going. So how do people get access to that? How do they go to it? How do they contact you?
Well, first of all, it's like I said, it's for a small group of people.
Okay.
And in order to come, I'd love to give people with a half an hour session where we can see if we're a match. But if you come to the half hour session, even if we're not a match, you'll come out with some gift that you'll be able to apply in your life. So it's not going to be a waste of your time. I promise and guarantee that you're going to have something magical that's going to come out of the session that you'll be able to come away with it. And if we are a match, then we can go on and sign you up for the retreat, which is coming up March 15th through the 19th. And then the weekly coaching calls. And so they can email me at info@hanahealing.com. And so we can set up a time so we can have a half hour exploration and actually transformation call, because you're gonna get a miracle out of it, even if it's a tiny miracle. Awesome. If you come with an open heart, you will get something out of it.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, Jana, you are freaking amazing, and just the work that you're doing, the art, the creation in the world is a blessing. A blessing. It seriously is. Thank you for what you're doing and how you synthesize these together, which is extraordinary, mind-boggling, and this is just the beginning of people, really grasping onto this technology, to this modality, to the ability to receive transformation from this. So I hope you have an amazing, amazing trip. Everyone who goes, you will love it and have a blast. And Jana, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your journey with us.
I just want to say that for anybody that comes to the retreat through you, I'm going to hold the early bird price until the 4th of March. And also, it's an incredible price. I mean, can I say the price? It's a $12.97 for the 3.5 days, but the early bird is only $9.97. So, and it includes, the accommodations, the gourmet, which is out of this planet, right, and the whole retreat experience. So, and if they come through you, I want them to let me know. So tell me you heard me with Chris, and I'll be gifting every one of the people that come through you and sign up for the retreat with a private session. Awesome. 45 minutes to 1 hour private session, just because I love you so much. So I'm willing to give every person that comes to the retreat I'm going to give them with a private session, a private sound healing, specifically tailored to whatever challenge they're going through.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're amazing. Okay. Keep up the amazing work. And everyone, go to this freaking retreat. You will love it. Jana, hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
Take care.
All right. See ya.
I love you, everybody. Bye-bye.